Today we've got the games you want with the very latest on Halo Wars, StarCraft 2, and Resident Evil 5.
Plus a world broadcast premiere hands-on demo of EA's Warhammer Online, and the latest on the controversy surrounding Alone in the Dark reviews. X-Play starts right now.
Hello and welcome to X-Play. You know, if you stay for the end credits, you can see us get asked to doing S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm Morgan Webb, and we've got a great show for you today.
And I'm Kristen Holt, filling in for Adam. We're coming to you from the G4 Studios in Los Angeles on Friday, June 20th. Later in today's show, we've got a fighting game that has its mind in the gutter.
Oh my.
And it's definitely made in Japan.
Plus, we'll catch up with you in the virtual audience to answer all of your burning questions, your itching and burning questions. And make sure you stick around because later on we'll tell you how you can decide G4's Best Game of the Year nominees. But first, we should get all of the top headlines in today's gaming update.
Alone in the Dark publisher Atari is very unhappy with early reviews coming in from overseas. According to Atari, Scandinavian website Game Reactor was in the wrong for posting their review one day after copies of the game were received. German website 4Players was threatened with legal action after Atari was unsure of how the site was able to obtain a review copy of the game. The website responded and said they got it from a trusted dealer. Next week, we'll get to the bottom of all this with our very own review of Alone in the Dark. Next, we have news regarding impressive Japanese sales numbers for Metal Gear Solid 4. Despite aging a few years, Snake managed to covertly take over the #1 spot in overall sales this past week by selling through 465,000 units. The game's release also boosted sales of the PlayStation 3 from just under 11,000 units the week before to over 75,000 units. Next up, John McCain's latest campaign ad might sound more familiar than the usual political jargon. That's because the background music used in the commercial is straight from EA's Medal of Honor European Assault. Let's have a listen.
My grandfather came home from war and died the next day. I was shot down over Vietnam and spent 5 years.
The music may work for the ad, but the music's composer, Christopher Leonard, isn't happy. An Obama supporter, Leonard's voiced disappointment in McCain's platform for dismissing what he calls the most basic values of copyright and intellectual property. Leonard's further clarified, however, that nothing unlawful had occurred, and it was all merely a mix-up over rights. And finally, THQ and the UFC have announced UFC 2009 Undisputed. The fighting game will feature a new game engine and will be released on the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and mobile devices in spring 2009. Over 80 UFC fighters, online support, and downloadable content are all planned. So stay tuned to X-Play. Next week, we'll be joined by the big names in the UFC to get the latest. That's it for today's gaming update. For the latest, be sure to check us out on iTunes. Our free daily podcast has all of our reviews and more. All you got to do is search for X-Play to get started. But now let's head over to Morgan for the latest on some Spartans, zombies, and dessert.
All right, then we know most of you have already picked up GTA 4 and Metal Gear Solid 4, but did you know there are still a few games on the horizon worth pining away for? Well, we've got tomorrow's heavy hitters today. These are the big ones.
So you think the pinata that is gaming has yet to give up all its sweet, sweet goodness for the time being? Leaving you to roll around crying under its broken shell while your embarrassed relatives look on and say things like, "I think he's on drugs." Well, think again. We've got titles on the radar, and they're big. RTS fans and Halo fans will finally have something to talk about as Halo Wars continues its approach to the 360. Players will lead the crew of the Spirit of Fire into humankind's first run-ins with the Covenant in this Halo prequel brought to us this time not by Bungie, but by Age of Empires creators Ensemble Studios. While we're on the topic, RTS fans, you're going to have your hands full with StarCraft 2 on its way for the PC.
It's about time.
This sequel to the wildly successful original boasts a new 3D engine and provides a single-player campaign alongside the expected multiplayer components. Resident Evil 5 is coming, and although we don't know when, here's what we do know. It features fast, strong, and thoroughly angry enemies who not only will spew tentacles from their mouths, but also have the good sense and politeness to shove them back in afterwards. As for the new mysterious female partner and the rumored cooperative play, only time will tell. Finally, kick-flipping into its next-gen debut, Prince of Persia. A new prince, all new story, new graphic style, and a brand new sidekick named Alika. There you have it, something to keep you going through the long, hot summer. Keep your eyes and ears on XPlay and g4tv.com/xplay for details as they happen. They're coming. Be prepared. Resident Evil 5 is still a ways off, but don't worry, there's plenty of games to play in the meantime. Here are the top 5 sellers on the PlayStation 3 in today's X list.
At number 5 is Grid, which we just gave 5 stars. If you like racing games, you owe it to yourself to give this one a shot. If you don't like racing games, well, the hell with you then.
Number 4 is Rock Band, the game that you love and your neighbors hate. It's evicted almost as many people as the housing crisis. Coming in at number 3 is Gran Turismo 5 Prologue. People love to pay for demos and live in a fantasy world where cars never get damaged.
Number 2 is Grand Theft Auto 4. This game can do so much, except have a decent checkpoint system so we don't have to waste 10 minutes replaying the boring parts of missions.
Boring. But the number 1 seller is, of course, Metal Gear Solid 4.
Woohoo!
Pretty good for a game starring an old man with a mustache.
Once just a tabletop battle game minute.
Coming up on XPlay, we've got a fighting game with a title so crazy that it must be made in Japan. It's Simple 2000 Series Volume 114, the something 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 go go go. Plus, the magic of technology brings you face to face with Kristen and Morgan as they answer your questions in the virtual audience. Stay tuned. Gaming Update is brought to you by Break.com. Great flicks, hot chicks, cool pics. 4.
Welcome back to XPlay. Now, some of Japan's top exports include cars and electronics, but, you know, an up-and-comer has to be fighting games with scantily clad women and incomprehensible titles. And what do you know? We've got one right here. Straight out of the rough and gritty streets of Japan comes a fighting game so rough and gritty it could only come from the streets of Japan. This one's called Simple 2000 Series Volume 114, Joko Pichi Torimonochu Oni-chan Go Go Go. You know what? Let's just call it Japanese fighting game. This recent game in an ongoing series sort of looks like a run-of-the-mill fighting game. And we've seen that on our shores before, so what makes it Japanese? Oh, I see. That makes it Japanese. You play as Detective Oharu, a 19-year-old female redhead, very commonplace on the streets of Japan. All you do here is run around fighting the same thugs over and over. What an odd bunch of thugs they are. Please hammer, don't hurt her. Detective Oharu has a special weapon to use. You might call it a magic lasso. Think of Wonder Woman, but without all the blatant jingoism and despair. Our heroine can travel all over the place, from the streets of Japan to the sewers of Japan. That water smells like Godzilla and Pachinko. Whee! I'm wasting time. Stop. Hammer time. Simple 2000 Series Volume 114, the Joko Pichi Torimonochu Oine-chan Go 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 is silly. It's goofy, it's fun, and it could only be made in Japan.
We're feeling nostalgic, so let's take a trip down memory lane.
Here's everything we reviewed this week. It is the XPlay Replay. This week week, we reviewed Metal Gear Solid 4. Snake's final mission is a blockbuster of a game, providing the best in gameplay, graphics, and storyline. It is certainly an early Game of the Year contender and easily nabs 5 stars.
We also saw The Incredible Hulk. If Bruce Banner gets angry when frustrated, then this game would surely cause a Hulk incident. The repetitive gameplay is just smash, 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 along with some slow rendering. It's a 2.
Then we reviewed Don King Presents Prize Fighter. There's too much button mashing and the collision detection is subpar. While his hair is great, Mr. King's game only gets a 2.
We also covered NASCAR 09. There's a whole slew of tracks, nice graphics, and some fairly solid racing. It crossed the line with 4 stars. Then there was Secret Agent Clank. This sidekick's moment in the limelight comes with nicely designed levels, easy-to-use controls, and sharp graphics. It's a 4.
And finally, we saw Dracula Origin for the PC. This point-and-click adventure is very silly and kind of charming. For $20, we can't complain too much. It scares up a 3 out of 5.
When X-Play returns, we'll answer all of your questions in the virtual audience. We'll be right back.
Carl Conrad.
Start your out of the sun with G4 all summer long.
Welcome back to X-Play. Now, as part of our outreach program, we'd like to, reach out to you and our virtual audience.
Outreach?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean our court-ordered community service?
Yeah. Joining us tonight is Justin from New Jersey. Justin, what is on your mind?
I was wondering, BioShock for the PS3 gonna have anything alternate or more impressive than the 360 or PC version?
And of course, BioShock, really popular games. Yeah, we're looking at a little better graphics. We have a new type of Big Daddy has been seen in a screenshot, but
all the full details are still under wraps. We don't really know much about it, but we don't expect huge changes to that.
I would be surprised if they made huge changes to the way the game plays or anything like that. So,
right. Next up, we've got Anthony coming at us from New York. What can we do for you, Anthony?
Hi, I was wondering if the game Too Human will come out on time.
People have been waiting for Too Human a long time, and we've actually seen a lot of the footage on our show. Everybody on X-Play is very excited about it. You know what? Everything points to yes.
It's supposed to be coming out in August.
Right.
So we hope and pray that it's on time.
Yeah, Diak actually said, who makes the game, he said that the game is pretty much done. It's like 99.9% done. Critics are going to get it really early, so we'll have time to play it. So I think it's safe to say that we're going to be playing that in August. All right, up next, Jeffrey has a question about Link. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Hey guys, do you think we'll be seeing any new Zelda games in the near future?
I think we absolutely will see Zelda games in the future. It's pretty much a given. The last installment, Twilight Princess on the Wii, was hugely successful, a really fun game, and it's just one of their most successful franchises, so...
I think the question really remains is when we're going to see the new Zelda. We had 2 Zelda games on the 64, 2 on the GameCube. Hopefully we'll see 2 on the Wii.
And maybe we'll find out more at E3. You never know. We're going to have full coverage on that here, so we'll see. Finally, we have Chris from California. What's your question, Chris?
Hi, I was wondering, what do you think of the Spore Creature Creator?
Have you gotten the Spore Creature Creator yourself?
Yes, I have.
You have. Did you pay $10 for it?
I downloaded the demo, then I got the $10.
My question about the Spore Creature Creator is that there is a demo version. There's also a $10 version, which of course has more features. But if I buy the $10 version, am I going to get $10 off the game?
That's a really good question. And I think it makes absolute sense for you to get $10 back. But it's sort of a new model. I mean, I guess they can kind of create their own rules by doing this. But it seems like people are into it and creating creatures. Yeah. So maybe it was really smart.
Did you make any creatures? Are you into the creature creator?
Yeah, I made probably about 10 creatures a day. I got the $10 version.
Did you make any obscene creatures?
A couple, but...
Maybe.
Oh, Chris,
yeah.
Shame on you.
I mean, it's funny that there was sort of an uproar about it. Like, come on. Isn't that the first thing everybody's gonna do with it?
It's not, we shouldn't be surprised or shocked by this, you know?
Yeah, everyone has that inner 10-year-old where you're like, hee hee.
Yeah, exactly. Or ew. That's what I did. Anyways, that's all the time we have. Thanks for all of your questions.
Everybody in today's virtual audience will receive a copy of Dragon Ball Z Burst Limit, which is in stores now. You are welcome.
Next week on X-Play, we've got the exclusive world broadcast premiere demo of Shaun White snowboarding, which looks to take the extreme sport to new heights. Plus, we'll review the game with fully destructible environments and wise-ass soldiers. Get ready for Battlefield Bad Company. Then, who needs strategy guides? We'll have all the Metal Gear Solid 4 cheats you need to help Snake complete his final mission. And Edward Carby is back. We'll tell you if Alone in the Dark's reboot is worth buying, or should just be set ablaze. Also, G40 at 2008 is coming up, and it's up to you to decide the Game of the Year nominees. Be here as we run down the contenders. It all starts Monday night at 8. Don't miss it.
Plus, we've got reviews of Top Spin 3 and Civilization Revolution.
See you guys next week. Thanks for watching.